He changed the name to drop down.
Come on!
Well, that cut off rather sharpishly there. Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of Proper Football Live. This will be our last live edition for just a short period because we're going to be trialling some podcast shows starting next week. So the show will still be here, but it won't be live for a few weeks while we give it a try. And that probably, I think we're going to call it Proper Football Uncut, because as much as it's going to be a podcast, it's going to be totally uncut. So, get a bit of a better picture there, I'm sure, for you folks. Right. Okay. Look, before I bring the team on, I just got to say the sad news this week with the loss of Barrington, better known as One-Eyed Baz there. One of the original Zulu Warriors, Birmingham City. The guy was a legend without any doubt. And I know a lot of people that are friends of this show were good friends with Baz. And we wish his family all the very best and that he rests in peace. Right. Okay. On with the show. Let's get the team on and let's get Simon on. Been off for a few weeks, but here he is.
Off and on.
Off and on. How you been doing, Simon?
Not bad. Been a long week this week, it seems, leading up to tonight. So, good weekend of football I had, and a good guest tonight.
Good to see you back on and up and kicking with your tech side of things. So that's good. Right, let's get Cally on. Hello, mate. Okay. How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Have you had a good week?
Yeah, it's been it's a usual week. Doing my streams and doing other things, but yeah, it's been good.
Well, we've had some good news. We've had 5p. Actually, Tesco's last night 6p off of a litre of fuel, so it's now only a second mortgage required to go and fill your car up now, and not a full mortgage. So we're getting somewhere, right? Okay, so tonight's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is Greg Lake from Billericay Town. He is the co-owner and vice chairman. We've got at the weekend, we've got the annual non-league day coming up as well. So what better timing than to have a owner of a non-league club? So let's not waffle on any further. Drum roll. I said I'd do it. I can see him in the back room, in the green room, as they would call it, giggling away now. But here he is, Mr. Greg. How are you, sir?
Good evening. How are you? Yes, all good. Hit this end. Thank you. And thank you for the drum roll. Much appreciated.
Mate, thank you very, very much for giving us your time. I know you're a very, very busy man. And it's really appreciated that you've come on the show with us tonight. So a bit of an introduction to yourself. So you are the co-owner and vice chairman at Billericay, am I right?
Yeah, that's true. One of 4 co-owners. So a bit of a consortium. We took over from the previous owner 4 years ago.
And so 4 years you've been at the club as a co-owner.
Sorry, 2 years ago. Time just flies when you're having fun. No, it's 2 years.
Cool.
It just seems like 4.
Well, we're gonna dig into Billericay with you this evening, and we're going to talk a lot more about the non-league, and we are particularly going to talk about the National League South, which you are currently in. Fair to say you are bottom of that league, which we'll have a look at league table a little bit further on in the show. But you're on an amazing run at the moment, picking up 3 wins on the bounce, I think it is it?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, if you look at the form table, I think we're 4th or 5th in that at the moment after that run. So after, form table over 5 or 6 games. And that's what you need when you're down there. You need that run of form and run of 3 points, or at least not getting beaten to get yourself back in it.
Absolutely. It's a mad league, that one, but we are going to talk about a lot more about that because there's a mad battle going on at the top as well. We'll talk more about that shortly. But let's just, obviously, you and Cally know each other quite well. We do.
I'm a Derby fan. So Cally's a bit of a god as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm a Watford fan, so
yeah, we can all bow at you.
Smoke up his arse now. Look, he's smiling away there. Carry on, lads.
I don't know who he is.
We did actually know each other before the pandemic. It was Greg's daughter that came on one of my streams on Facebook.
Okay.
And
I've blamed her for this ever since.
She said, "My dad's a Derby supporter. It's his birthday next year. I want to give him a surprise birthday party. Would you be able to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I think you come on after that, then, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then we just we had such a good laugh, and I followed the progress of Billericay every week, along with Jack in Watford, and it's just sort of gone from there, really. I did sort of get on really well.
Brilliant. Simon, you've met for the first time tonight. Simon is a Bristol Rovers supporter. So fair to say, not a million miles away from where you are in the league.
Thanks for that, Gary.
Look, I love Rovers. Go on the gas. But yeah, so Simon, anything you'd like to dig into there?
What about Billericay?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been looking at the stadium. Stadium's come on quite a lot, hasn't it, in the last... Obviously, that was before your day, though, wasn't it?
The stadium, itself. So it's got a capacity of 5,000, 2,000 seated, nice stands. We've kind of added to that since, in that we've put an artificial pitch in, mostly for commercial reasons, because we kept getting games cancelled. And, we might talk about the finance later, but you really can't afford to have that happen on a regular basis because it hits you. But also we've had a second artificial pitch put in on the site as well. And again, it's all about producing revenue, but it's, as I was saying to Gary yesterday, we've got 70 sides playing under the Billericay town banner, boys, girls, walking football, and we were paying for pitches all over the place. Now with those 2 artificial pitches, we can really bring people back to the centre.
Brilliant. So it's become like a hub of the community then.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it, Simon? 70 odd teams under that banner.
Amazing.
And I guess talking about the artificial pitches, because we had Mick from Carlton Town, the chairman of Carlton Town, on. They got a 3D pitch, and a lot of non-league clubs are going that way. And I take it's because it does allow you to rent that pitch out without any worry of damaging the surface.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got 2 different grades of pitch. So in our main stadium pitch, you could actually play FIFA level games on that. So it's a good quality, fast pitch for decent football. The community pitch is a bit more hard wearing, and we do rent them both out, but far less on the stadium pitch. That one is more looked after. But it is about revenue. It's about being able to rent it out. As I was saying to Simon, bringing more of our own clubs to play on at the hub, at the home of Billericay. But also, we have other teams that hire it. We hire it out for police games. The emergency services use it. Lloyd's of London use it during the week to play their league matches on. And all of that stuff brings in revenue, which is vital for a non-league club.
That's brilliant. The other thing I was going to say, is it true that I know a lot of non-league clubs going down this road, and there are a few league clubs as well. Is it true, though, that you find it a lot more difficult to get pre-season friendlies with bigger clubs because they're reluctant to play on these pitches? This is something I've heard. Would that be fair?
So no, I mean we do get. It depends on the size of the club. So the really big teams are reluctant. But, to get the likes of Colchester from our area to play on it, we played them in a pre-season friendly. So that's still possible. West Ham wouldn't allow us to have their first team playing on there, but they'll quite happily send down an under-23 side to play. So
is that because they feel that they can pick up injuries easier, or?
I don't know. I think it's because they're not playing on artificial pitches. So pre-season, they want them to be playing on the surface.
Right. Yeah.
I think there's a bit of a myth, isn't it, about the artificial turf causing injuries and stuff. Do you know what I mean? You do hear quite a bit about it. I mean, I'm living witness, and the rugby team here's got one. And at first, loads of teams moaning, saying, "Oh, it's causing injuries," and there's no fact to it. It's just one of those myths, I think.
Well, it's also improved a lot, Simon. I mean, you don't get the burns down your legs when you're going for sliding tackles now that you used to get on those pitches. So I mean, I prefer grass. I see somebody's put Super Cali. I only like real grass on there. I think we all prefer real grass, but the economics of it just dictate that that's not the way forward. And you do get a quick game on artificial pitches.
Tell you what, they've come a long way, haven't they? Since I mean, I played football when Luton and QPR they had the first artificial pitches, and you couldn't play balls into space on them pitches because the ball just ran away with it. Everything had to be into feet, and it's bouncing about 10 foot up in the air from the goalkeeper's kick. So I think the artificial pitches now, the standard's pretty good. Like they've improved them a lot.
Our ladies played at Wimbledon's new ground a few weeks ago, and that's one of these mixture. It's part artificial, part grass, and they are lovely. They're really nice pitches. So.
The girls are doing well, Greg.
They are, mate. Yes. So results at the weekend mean it's back in our hands. So if we win the next 4 games, we win the league and get promoted, and then. Actually, it's back to that financial thing of instead of games at Basildon and all around London, we'd have games in Cardiff and Plymouth and be on coaches every second week. So be a great thing if we could make it. Be a great thing if the guys could stay up as well, which hopefully they will. Yeah,
it will be a great achievement because to get into the league above with all them other teams, no disrespect to it, but you're a national South football club. It'll be a brilliant achievement if you pull it off.
I hope we will, and yes, it would, because that would put us into the third level, the kind of Division 1, if you like, male equivalent of women's football. And I do believe we can actually get and sustain a championship side in the women's league. On the men's side. Let's hope that we stay up first of all. I'm touching some wood here that you can't actually see me doing, but I promise it's here. If we do stay up, then the ambition is to obviously get into the National League, and at that point we could still have an artificial pitch. Go up another level if we were lucky enough and ambitious enough and capable of doing that, and we'd have to rip up the pitch. So and there's a lot of investment gone into that. So it is always there that you kind of want to go on, but there's always a financial implication of actually achieving that at our level.
Yeah. I mean, I played a few games for Stafford Rangers after Aston Villa. Yeah. And I remember we played, I think it was Lincoln in the FA Cup. We had a good result and we were doing quite well in the league. And I was with the chairman afterwards having a drink. And I said, we've got a good chance of going up this year. And he went, "Oh no, we don't want to go up.
Yeah,
we can't afford to go up." So I sort of said to him, "Well, you're not really going to attract any good players there because any good player that goes to a club that's just below the Football League is going to want to get into the Football League. So it's going to be hard to attract players to go there." And he said, "Well, that's just the financial state we're in at the moment."
I know, and it's why you've got to look at sustainable revenue streams like the pitch hire. so because that builds over time. And it is difficult though. I mean, if we got promoted, either ladies next season or men hopefully the season after, you're doubling if not tripling your wage bill. Because you've got to attract better players. You've got to if you're going to progress. I think obviously part of it is growing your own. Most clubs have got an academy now, as we have. We've got an under-23s. And we've got the pathway all the way through on both the boys and the girls' side, from kind of under 6 all the way through, with some multiple teams on the way, hence the 70-odd clubs. So you can bring 1 or 2 in of your own, but to bridge that gap between the level of football that they're playing at either at academy level, and we are playing in the National League Academy, or in terms of under 23s, when you're getting promoted and you get into National League and to that kind of standard, there's only realistically 1 or 2 that are going to make it all the time. So you're constantly having to refresh and bring better players in. And the main thing that attracts players, of course, is money. Unfortunately, even at our level, players have got agents. Players have got ambitions themselves.
They've got agents.
Yeah. I mean, I've got 17-year-old girls who's playing for us that have got agents. I mean, in some cases, even in the men's side, the amount of money they're taking from their wages is minimal. But a lot of these agents have got so many players on their books that it makes it worth their while. But the agents are the bane of our lives, never mind professional teams' lives, because they won't let people tie themselves down on the basis of they're always trying to get them to a higher club on a better wage.
It should ban agents from football.
Yeah,
they really should. They really should. It's just ludicrous. Just the 2 things that lead on from what you've been saying there, what you raised there as well, Nigel, is last week, I pronounce it, Alfredton Football Club actually put it to their fans, would they mind if we cut the tiers down? It's like amazing. I mean, obviously robustly said no, but the fact that the club wanted to do that publicly, and it was public, they have not hid the fact that they want to be relegated, obviously means the club got financial difficulties.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if they allowed it, if they allowed that to happen, they probably wouldn't have a team because they'd have to get a whole new team. Because I can't see any of them players wanting to drop down 2 divisions.
No.
In that one,
they must be quite deep in it, in my view, and I would imagine the fans probably must be a little bit worried. I mean, what a thing to come out. If you'd have come out with that, Greg, look, that would tell me, and I'm sure you agree, that you are in very serious financial poo.
Yeah, but it does happen, of course. I mean, we're not.
Yeah,
but even this season, and I don't know if there's any Billericay fans. Good evening to you if you are on here. But as owners, we've been accused of not putting the money in and actually wanting to be relegated because we were bottom of the league, and so the suspicion is that you want to go down. Fans are always looking for reasons why you're in the position you're in, and so it's a natural assumption, and no fan wants to get relegated, but it's not necessarily their money that they're putting in. They're paying season tickets, but sadly, even at our level, the money that comes in from fans coming through the gates isn't really enough to sustain a team in the kind of levels that we're playing at. And so I understand why Alfredton are doing that, and you're right, they must be in serious financial difficulties. But what's the alternative? Unless they can get somebody to buy the club who's got more money, where's the money coming from? And fans, in a conversation like this, a fan would understand it. But when it's your own club, the last thing you want to hear is that you're in financial difficulties and you can't afford to be in the league you're in. I mean, let's face it, Cally and I, Cally played for Derby. I'm a Derby fan. And look at the mess that we're in now because somebody spent money they didn't have.
Yeah.
So I understand where they're coming from.
If you manage to get promoted into the National League, I mean, obviously, I was speaking to Gary about it. You're more or less on the same level as League Two.
Yes.
There's hardly any difference. And I've got to say, you've probably got better facilities at your place than some of the football clubs in League Two. So
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, you know, about having to get quite a few new players in and your wage bill's going to go up. But that's the only way you can do it these days, isn't it?
Well, and the other thing there, Cally, is so if you manage to get into the National League, then you've got another debate about do you go full time or not? You know, at the moment we're part time, but a lot of the sides, you know, you may well talk about, you know, the top of the National League South, and it's probably 50-50 at the moment in our league as to whether people are full time or part time. But if you get it,
former league clubs there, isn't there? That's the thing in the National League now. It's full of former league clubs now, isn't it?
Yeah, and clubs who've got deeper pockets than we've got.
Yeah.
You know, but we would have to, if we did get promoted, we'd have to think about going full time because, you know, training 2 nights a week, which is what the part-time clubs do, doesn't put you on a par with teams that are training virtually every day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Is it most of the top 4, are they all full time in your league?
I think at least 3 of them are. Yeah.
So it is making
certainly they and there are teams that have spent more money. Money doesn't necessarily guarantee success, but it certainly helps. And so, you know, I mean, the Dorking story is a great one, but you know, Mark's got a lot of money. He's bonkers, but he does have a lot of money. I think you've met him, Gary, haven't you? Or spoken to him?
Mark. I've spoke to Mark, and because we're hoping to get him on and whatnot, because that's an amazing story from their early beginnings in 22 years ago, where they were just 14 lads chipping in a fiver. But I listened to a recent interview he did, and he don't want to go full time, even if they went up. He even said, I'd love to try and see if we could go into League Two and still stay part-time.
Yeah, and it's a money thing. You know, and Mark's put a lot of money in there, to be fair to him. I mean, he's as mad as a bag of frogs. And if you do get mad, I suggest you have a delay and a bleep machine. But he's good value. But that's the dilemma for us all. You know, we all want success. Of course we do. But there's financial implications of that, and one of the big ones is, of course, going full time, because you then have to have players who are only drawing their salaries from football. At the moment, you know, we've got people playing for us who actually have very good jobs, and therefore it's just bonus money for them. There are some who are doing it for the money, but they tend to be the younger ones. But of course, when you go full time, you need a better standard of player who's just reliant on you as a football club.
Yeah. I'm just going to have to intervene there. I just want to apologise to people who may be putting comments up. I, for some reason, can't see any of the comments that people are putting on. I must admit, I've got a few on my phone, but certainly there'll be more people than that. So I do apologise now. I don't know if you guys can see people's comments coming up.
I can see them. It's mostly the Cally family at the moment.
Don't know why I can't. But feel free to intervene. Feel free to intervene and tell us about any comments. So I can't even put them up on the screen. So I do apologise about that, people. Just what I've got here. Good evening, chaps. From a Kidsgrove Athletic fan, who I believe, Simon, you and Dan are doing an away day special with them, aren't you? Soon?
Yeah, on the 9th of April. We're meeting up with them. It's obviously at Widnes FC's ground. There's a few of them coming up, so I'll take them over to Boulder for a cheap pint.
And so we're going to do an away day with them, so we look forward to that. Just jumping in there, I've already agreed now with Greg that I'm going to come down and we're going to do an away day blog down at Billericay on the 2nd of April against Chippenham Town. So any Billericay fans listening, or anyone who just wants to come along to the game, come along and say hello to Proper Football, and I promise I'll put you on the video. All right?
I'll even buy them a beer, Gary, if they come.
Sorry?
I'll buy them all a beer if they come.
Right, there you go. If you are not a Billericay fan, but you want to come down, one, you're going to get to meet me and come on the video with me, and two, the owner's going to buy you a pint. Come on. So get down to Billericay, 3 o'clock kickoff.
Yes, it is, yeah.
On the 2nd of April against Chippenham Town. A must win, a must win. Just a couple of other ones on there. There was an interesting one. I'm trying to find it now. Totally agree with Gary about agents. They are money grabbing, and I can't say it. Beep. Well, I can. He just put bastards on there, but there we are. Go on, Stafford Rangers. Message come up there, so I guess that's directed at you, Cally. I'm in witness in a few weeks, Simon. Yeah, that was the chap from Kidsgrove. Yeah. So, and Gary Clark is watching now. At this moment in time, we've got to talk about Gary. Gary's been on the show. He was on the show last week. He's been on the show. He's a good friend, you know, and he's the man. He's the marketing manager for Colton Town as well. So yeah, got a great relationship with Gary, and him and his son just gone absolute viral in a mad way when his son did this. Now I'm going to put this up. So I'm going to put this video up. Now, bear in mind, when you see this, it's an under-12s cup game. It's at 2-2, right? And there's 1 minute left to play, right? And this happens. And on the camera is his dad, Gary.
Go on, Charlie, go on. It's it. That's it. It's in. It's in. Yeah! Oh, what's the goal? What a goal! I've got a video. Oh, brilliant. Last minute. I've taped it.
I saw that.
Gary should know better than going on the pitch,
mate, what?
I'm surprised that Boatsy didn't storm the pitch, to be fair, but I love the commentary. That was brilliant.
Oh, dear, oh me. You know what? And I'm proud to say that other than what Boatsy putting it up, he sent it to me straight away. And I got it up with a little thing before anybody else. And the whole world's took it over. I mean, Gary himself has had 1.3 million or something crazy amount of views. He's being whisked down to London, him and Charlie. They're on Soccer AM and everything on Saturday. They've been on the BBC. They've got TV people from abroad coming. It's just gone mad. But you know what? I said to Gary before it went mad, I said, this is going to go mad. This is brilliant, you know. And the reason I said it was, you know what, we've put up with so much shit in the last few years, and you know that shit ain't gone away. You know, with all the war and the cost of living and all this that's going on. And do you know that I've watched it so many times, and every time I watch it, I smile. It puts a big smile. It's just great seeing the kids having that fun, loving that game that we love, and what a way to win a cup tie.
Oh, it's fantastic! And what a kick he's got on him.
I know, it's mad. And he got a mate. I wish I'd have put the video of Mark Crossley, the old Forest and England keeper, and he did an impression of Brian Clough and that. But he'd done a video with Charlie over it all. But the you know, Gary's watching now. We were due to do a one-on-one interview with Gary on Tuesday, and we've had to move that to Friday because and probably going to have to move it again now. His world's gone on its head, bless him, you know. And but it's just a real feel-good factor to it, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It's giving everyone a smile. It's brilliant bit of footage, you know. And Gary, it's in.
Well, it's encouraging him to shoot first. I mean, would the lad have shot without Boatsy encouraging him? I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Say, go on, hit it, son, hit it. Boy, did he hit it. Fair play. Well done, Charlie. And I'm sure, I know Charlie's done a number of interviews now anyway, but I'm positive that we'll get him on a show or something and have a chat with him. Bless him. Well, actually, I'm going to be up at, where am I going to be? I'm going up to do a live up there when they play Nottingham Forest in the Hearts Senior Cup in the semi-finals. They're under 23 side, so we'll catch him then. But what a wonderful moment, and great to see the kids in it having fun. But yeah, right, moving along. Should we have a look at the table? Why not?
Do we
I'm
have
going to
to?
start not with Billericay though. I'm going to start because this league is fascinating. I'm going to start because I've got it in two halves. This league table, I'm afraid. And with you down the bottom, mate.
Yeah, I'll just go to sleep for this bit.
And the one that I find enthralling is the top two, Maidstone and Dorking. Now, up until Saturday, Dorking drew and Maidstone won. They were neck and neck at 60 or whatever it was, 63 points. Absolutely. I mean, even the goal difference is only 2 in it. But obviously, Dorking have got, Maidstone have taken a little bit of a step forward there with them slipping up with a draw with Dorking. But that's an amazing tussle at the top there. I mean, the last 2 weeks I've been watching it, and they're like been neck and neck, absolute level on points. You know, games played the same. So is it, like I say, Maidstone taking a big step forward there. They've got 2 points, but boy, oh boy, that's going to go down to the wire. That one, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, it is, and those sides have been swapping. And Dartford, they've spent a lot of money this season. They've got our ex-striker Jake Robinson, who's a bit of a Billericay legend, that they took from us at the pre-season, and they were up there for a while as well. It's been a great battle at the top there. Good advert for this kind of football, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen some footage from Maidstone, Simon, haven't we? Their fan base is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gary, how does it work in that league? Is it just one team goes up, or is it top two?
Do you know what? I was going to ask this actually about Simon. I think you're on mute, mate. We can't hear you. You're right. How does that work? Because it's not straightforward, is it? It's the same. I guess if you finish bottom, do you then go into a playoffs?
If we finish bottom, or if the team above us. So for us, one team goes down. I think,
right.
So there's only one team going down from our league, which when we get to our part of the league, that's very important to us. But at the top, I mean, there's playoffs as well. So I think it may be top and then playoffs.
Right.
So two teams going up, I think.
Yeah, it's very confusing, isn't it? I've never been able to properly work it. I must really do some homework on that. It's
But just Andrew Brown is saying to us, Weymouth boys will be back in the National South next season as heading to relegation. I hope that you don't. I hope you do manage to stay up, but it's a great away day for us if you do come down. So we look forward to seeing you. That's
a nice little ground and all at Weymouth.
It is.
It's a lovely little ground. I used to have a holiday caravan down there. Used to go down all the time. And I remember they used to even have buses in the town taking them off because the ground's just outside the town, isn't it? At Weymouth. But what a lovely place to go down and have a weekend. That's a great way.
It is. So I hope for his sake, Andrew, that you stay up. But for ours, if you come down, we'll come and see you.
I'll even come along with that one, Andrew. I've got a soft spot for Weymouth. I had a holiday home there for a long time. Lovely, lovely, lovely place. And a nice little football ground. So, right, let's bring it up then. Right, there we are. So we've got... So you're down there... You played the 31, you got 20, you're a point behind, but you're a game in hand over Welling.
Yeah, so it is in our own hands from that perspective. I think, we've got 9 games left because obviously every team plays 40. So there's still plenty of time, plenty of points to play for. And I think the good thing about, if you can imagine how far off we were before we won the last 3 games, although some of the teams here have added points as well. But, right up to Tonbridge here, we've got teams in and around us that have been pulled into this relegation battle. So I think it's good. This one is going to get really interesting over the next 9 games, 8 and 9 games. Some of them only got 8 left. It's going to get quite intense. We've still got to play. Chelmsford is our local. They're our local rivals. I was going to
say that must be a massive derby.
Yeah, and Easter Monday we're playing away at Chelmsford, and that's a huge game. Particularly with that league position and the difference in points. So, the fans will be well up for that one.
I might come down just to come as a fan for that one. It sounds
fun. I would do. It'll be a tasty one.
What kind of crowd did you expect for that then? With it being a derby and that?
So it's at Chelmsford Ground, but I would imagine that you'd be talking, I don't know, 1,600 to 1,800. It will be a decent crowd, particularly with it being bank holiday, of course, as well.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Because the other one on there I noticed is a local one for you. It's Braintree as well, isn't it?
Yeah, got them last game of the season away. And they've picked up a bit of form. I mean, they were the side that we actually were kind of targeting as replacing us at the bottom. So because they were really struggling at one point, but Ryan, the manager there, has worked wonders with them, and they've picked up a lot of points and pretty much got themselves to safety. But I'm kind of hoping now that they're not going to be bothered last game of the season. If we do need to win that one, they'll already be safe. So, but it is another local one. They
wouldn't want to miss out on a local derby next season, would they?
No, that's true.
It's great. What sort of gates are you getting down at Billericay at the moment then?
Well, remembering that we're bottom, so we're averaging about 800 at home. It's starting to pick up because it's getting interesting. Again. Yeah, but it's not just the winning; it's the excitement. We kind of lost our mojo. I mean, I hinted at it earlier on about the fans were starting to get on at us owners, and I do understand that. It's not necessarily a problem. But they weren't really backing the manager and the players. I don't mean on the pitch, but they were starting to say, at games they were backing them, but they were starting to doubt whether we'd got the right manager, whether the players were good enough. And we have been through a lot of change since we parted company with Kevin Watson earlier on in the season, brought Jody Brown in as manager, and he has changed the playing staff around significantly. So, it takes a while to come together. And I think the fans were starting to worry that it was going to be too late. But now we're hitting a bit of form and we're getting ourselves back in it. It's really brought the whole club back together again. So, and with that, the gates pick up.
Brilliant.
As a footballer, sort of the more wins you get in a row, the more the confidence grows, and the more you start believing in things. And that's not just from top level; that's right the way down to the lower levels. For any footballer, centre forwards, if they're not scoring goals, the confidence goes. So hopefully, with the 3 wins that you've had, the lads are going to have a bit of confidence going into the next game, and you win 4 in a row, then it's 5 in a row. Hopefully, So.
Yeah, I mean, Jody, the manager, talks about it being a process. Because we stopped losing games and we started drawing them, and we were often ahead, but it is that confidence to see it out. So, we'd be 1 or 2-0 up, and then we'd start to panic about whether we could see it out, and the other team had put us under pressure, and all of a sudden you're drawing a game that you should have won, because they're so desperate to win it that actually it has the reverse effect. So you're right, Cally, you get that confidence, and I think for forwards particularly, it is important. If you're missing chances, if you're not getting that many chances and you're not putting them away, there's nothing better than scoring a goal, because that's kind of muscle memory, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you get in that position again, you took it away. So we've got a guy called Dylan Gavin that we've got on loan from Charlton Athletic, and today actually we've managed to keep him on loan until the end of the season. But he started scoring goals for us, and he's bringing the rest of the team into the play. He's a really good player, one to watch for the future.
Cool. I just got to say something there. We got a listener from Norway, from BTFC Norg. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Piers. How are you, my friend?
You know him? Okay.
Yes. So he's quite famous now. Just very quickly, he's the reason that we started on this run of wins. He came over to watch, and we won the first of the 3 games. He was there for the second, and for the third, he unfortunately had to go back to Norway. But the fans made a cardboard cutout of him and took it with them in the stand, and we won the third.
Brilliant.
So as Pierce will know, the cardboard cutout of him is going to be on that coach on Saturday.
He's got your Norwegian supporters club there. Well, welcome to our show. Join our show. To everyone out there, actually, our YouTube channel, our website. We keep saying it's going to be a couple of weeks, but it is going to be a couple of weeks, so we hope. But yeah, certainly the website is on its way. But please look at our library that's now developing on YouTube. We've got obviously our shows with various guests. And we also got our away days that we've only just really started doing, but we've got 3 or 4 on there now. And we're certainly going to get a lot more before the end of the season. That's where we go round to the clubs, talk to fans, to managers, to players, to owners where possible, and a good look round the ground and give a bit of promotion to that particular club. So, yeah, they're very interesting. Get on there. And please subscribe. We've only just started on YouTube, so we need to get our subscribers up. So please subscribe. There's also now we've started what we call Under the Floodlight interviews. And I know Nigel, I yet to collar Nigel for that one. And Greg, I think you've agreed that you come on and do one with us where we'll dig a lot deeper into everything. And that's where we actually do a one-on-one interview with someone who can be of interest to everyone to do with football. So there are a couple on there at the moment. Danny Fenny's one. And what's the name of the chap with the Vets?
John O'Farrelly?
What you were going to say then? But yeah, so get on there. Danny Fenn, he's better known as the bowling poet. That's an interesting interview. It sort of explores a little bit about the deep-rooted passion of the bowling ground that a lot of West Ham fans had and probably still have. So jump on there. And also there's a lot about his poetry and a little discussion about the little Isla Caton, bless her. And so, yeah, very interesting. And the Vets football, which they've got a game coming up at Lincoln City. All proceeds going to the PTSD cause, isn't it, Simon?
Yeah. I'm not sure the name of the charity, but it all goes towards a specific charity to do with PTSD and other things. They're still looking. I think they're still looking at selling tickets for that. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch the interview, but they're looking to hopefully sell a few more tickets. I think they've sold about 1,000 so far. So it's a great cause. So
have a look. I think it's up on our pages, isn't it?
It's up on YouTube and on our Facebook page, and Twitter.
And we're going to be there. So again, people, get down to Lincoln City. It's for a really, really, really good cause. Go on our pages. You'll see it all advertised. We're going to be there, and you can come and say hello, and we'll make you famous for 5 minutes. Why not? You know. And maybe Greg will buy you a pint at Lincoln City as well. Hey, who knows?
That offer is only open at Billericay, I'm afraid. Actually, Derby as well. Right. We'll make it a Derby as well.
We're being told that Gareth Bale's just scored a world-class free kick, putting Wales one up for those that are interested. And, yeah, it's supposed to be a cracker. Right, okay. So we've been talking all about non-league, and it is obviously on Saturday coming up now. We've got the non-league day. Something I wasn't overly aware of, I have to be honest with you, because I guess since lockdown it hasn't been overly advertised. And I think like many, many fans, as you can see there, and it's supporting prostate cancer, get down and support your local non-league. Now, we always see an influx of fans on international break weekends. So please, if you're not going to one of your bigger clubs, get down, support your local side, because you may be surprised and realise it's a better day out. But so how long's this been going then, this National Non-League Day, Greg?
It's been going for a while. So I'm not sure how long it's been going, but certainly last few seasons. And you're right. Yeah. You know, we do see more people coming during an international break. So, you know, we're a kind of West Ham catchment area, but we've got every other persuasion, Arsenal, Spurs, a lot of rivalry there. But certainly, you know, I think you're right about it being a better experience. I mean, obviously you want to go and watch your main side that you've loved since you were a child, but coming to a non-league ground, it's a bit more raw, I guess. For me, it's going back to when I was a boy, and you know, we had this conversation, Gary. You know, you can get close up to the players. You're in, and it has a better feel to it. You can go and get a pint and a burger without tripping over everybody. You know, it's a good day out these days. So yes, long may non-league day continue, and people get attracted into their local grounds.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've been shocked. Like I say, my attention to non-league I'm one of these fans that are a bit disillusionised with modern day football. Regular listeners will know that because I moan about it every week. But yeah, I'm one of these that's a bit disillusionised with modern day football, and I've turned my attention to lower league and non-league football. And even though I have a season ticket for a Premier League club, I actually let someone else use it. I've not been. It's me. But I know I'm not alone.
No,
I'm
that's
not alone, and there's a lot of people feeling the same way, very disillusionised with where the sport's going. But it will be at the benefit of lower league and non-league clubs that is happening, which can't be a bad thing, I don't think.
No,
So
I honestly think, Gary, it goes back to what we were talking about, right at the start, which is, the fans really aren't the big earner money wise for clubs, and particularly at the highest level. Football revenue is more important to the corporate sponsorship brings more money in, and so the fans become customers, which I think was a phrase you used. At the end of the day, we're not.
Alan's phrase, he brought it up on one of the shows, and he said, "We're no longer fans, we're customers."
Yeah,
and it's sort of quite true.
Yeah, and almost it's an entertainment where, actually football for anybody who's crazy about it, it's a way of life, it's a passion, and I think the big teams have forgotten some of that.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Andrew Brown said he's off to Torquay away on Saturday to support non-league. Well, do us a favour, Andrew. If you've got your phone with you and you fancy doing a little bit of a video, let us know, and you can send it in, about the stadium and what beer they sell and how much is a pie, is it any good? Have a chat with a couple of fans. If you fancy doing it, let us know, and we'll create an away day. We've created a brand, I think. Have we called it Fans Away
Day? Something like that, yeah.
So this is where fans can do their own little podcasts. Send it in to us. We'll edit it and put bits in that make it look good, and then we'll put it up on our YouTube channel for all to see. So yeah, anyone interested in doing that, let us know. That's cool. Right, I'm going to change the subject a little bit. A couple of things, obviously, this week or today, Chelsea fans have been given the go-ahead that they can now buy away tickets, and obviously away fans get, which for me was a ridiculous scenario that was going on with Chelsea. They've only got to say, well, ring fence the money that is generated. It don't need to go to matey boy. Why punish the fans? We talk about modern day football, but the fans do get a bum deal. At the top end, and that is.
Look at the FA Cup semi-final as well. Liverpool and Man City. No trains to London that day. Refusing to move it from Wembley.
Point. That's a really good point.
Refusing to move it, aren't they? No interest at all in moving it.
No, and this just showed they've got no interest in the fans. That's why I'm afraid there's more money involved in the Wembley club.
Yeah,
that he's probably mainly corporate. The most boring bit of Wembley to ever go and sit in. I've been there once on a playoff where I went in there, and a lot of corporate there, and they earn, like every club these days, they earn a lot of money from corporate, and that has a bearing effect. But what did come of that? A lot of noise being made about the fact that. We all know this, that none of us like the fact that we play semi-finals at Wembley. No. The FA are probably the front runners in destroying the glamour and the beauty of what was the FA Cup by some of the behaviour that they show. That group of people that are not fit for purpose. They a lot of noise made by people in the game saying, well, you know what, we shouldn't be going to Wembley for a semi-final because it takes away from the final.
Yeah.
The whole glory of it. Well, I know this is an old record player going on now, but the whole glory of the FA Cup was reaching Wembley. We've just got to get the semi-final and have a day at Wembley now.
Yeah.
Just shame.
It is,
I agree with you. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I don't feel the same about Wembley anymore. Since it's been redeveloped, rebuilt, it just doesn't have the same lure for me that the old Wembley did.
No, the Twin Towers and all that. You
The
know,
walking up to Wembley,
behind me, I don't know if you
so
can just
special,
see it.
wasn't
Look, there you go.
Yeah.
There's Wembley.
The walk up to Wembley and everything was special, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was.
it's not just
Now you're walking through, like, it feels like you're walking through a retail park. You know what I mean?
It
does now.
Yeah. Everything, isn't it?
Say again, Nige.
I said the walkway up to Wembley it's just full of bars, restaurants, a hospital. You know, and so it's not all about the football anymore, is it? Again, it's all about the money.
No,
I mean, when we got to Wembley, I mean, I'd have been absolutely gutted if we'd have lost at Villa Park. But again, you know, to get to the final means you're playing at Wembley. Get to the semi-finals, you get beat. Yeah, well, played at Wembley, but we got beat in the semi-finals.
Yeah, that's what made the final so special.
No,
you know, I mean, you yourself were lucky enough in that game to play, come out of that tunnel. You know, I was lucky enough that I managed to get to see like Watford in a cup final at Wembley, the old Wembley.
Yeah,
you know, I was so grateful for that experience because not many clubs get that experience of a FA Cup final. This was at the old Wembley. Like you say, the new Wembley, what a gorgeous stadium, but not.
No.
Doesn't thrill me too much.
Played at the old Wembley, haven't they? They've got a bit of history with the FA Vase, haven't they? Or FA Trophy.
Billericay, yeah. In fact, won it 3 times.
Right.
Wow. So back in the 70s. We've still got some guys who were players in that time who are still around and come to home games. Absolute legends. But yeah, it's been a good competition for us in the past. And again, it's that same thing. You know, it was the kind of our version of getting to that FA Cup final, and you know, take a lot more fans than you normally have at home because everybody in the area wants to come, and it makes it such a special occasion, doesn't it? But I think it's been spoilt now.
It's
it creates memories, Greg. You know, like people like we're talking about it 10 years on, 20 years on. These special events, they just create memories that you talk about years and years on. And it was special in them days. That's why you remember every part of the day and every part of the game. I'm not saying it's not special these days, but like I'm a big fan of not being able to play at Wembley, not unless you get to the final.
You know what, Nigel? I'll tell you what's missing, right? What's missing is yes, the whole importance of the FA Cup has diminished. But what's missing on the day is that build-up. A comedian being on the coach with the players, being outside the players' hotel, following the coach on its trip to Wembley, Bruce Forsyth running around Wembley and the band coming out. And you know what? When we played Man City, you had all these banners on the pitch and you had Joe Wiley doing a bit of DJing in the stand. I'm sorry, that ain't Bruce Forsyth out on his big white stand, you know. Mate, that's what it was. Yeah. You know, and then they sing "Abide with Me," and mate, you'd be in tears when that was good. Mate, the blokes around me crying their fucking eyes out. Sorry for the French, but crying their eyes out that day in '84.
I think the other thing is
singing "Abide with Me." It was so, and the younger generation. Although it's been a great FA Cup season, I will say that. And I've seen some of the passion at non-league, and the Cup still has a passion, and it brings it out in lower league. Not maybe so much. Well, even the bigger clubs have had full houses this time. I think the Cup has had a bit of a rejuvenation this year, but it still don't come anywhere near what we experience. And I
think when you get to the final, Gary, the problem is it's the same teams every time. You know, that's part of what's made it a bit more sterile. I mean, I'm with you. I remember watching It's a Knockout on, you know, as part of the build-up on the Saturday morning on TV between the fans. It was all part of it.
Yeah. It starts at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, 2 o'clock in the morning, FA Cup special, kick off at 3 o'clock. And the streets would be empty, and then after the game, everyone would flood out. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. One last couple of bits. I did say we'd touch on the weekend's gone thing. A big well done to both Middlesbrough and Nottingham Forest for getting as far as they got. I thought Forest had a had a good game against Liverpool, and Borough that done themselves proud against sides that are just too strong. Palace, well done, Dan. He's our other man, our other wing man. Well done, Dan. Palace getting to the semi-finals again. It'd be interesting. Predictions: who's gonna win out of that Man City Liverpool game?
Man City.
Man City.
Man City.
We're all going for Man City, are we? Okay, yeah. I'm going to go. Who's going to win the cup?
Man City.
Man City.
And that's how boring it's got. That is
it
how
is.
boring
Yeah.
it's got.
Yeah.
Look at their bench the other night. They brought Foden on, and
yeah,
they've got a bit of play.
And that is the thing, Cally, isn't it? It's the strength in depth. You know, Liverpool have got a good bench too, but Man City's just different level.
Yeah, different gears. I don't even think they got into fourth gear in that cup match.
No.
Yeah, such a shame. One last thing, and then I'm going to let you guys finish the show off with any other comments you want to make. Just one last comment from me. Obviously, we're seeing the disruption of environmental friendly people against oil, tying themselves with oil-based products to the posts of a football match. Hypocrites they are funded by, and I don't know his name, Simon, you right there, the owner of Forest Green Rovers, and he has come out openly and said, I've given them 10 grand to fund this new project, and when they approached him for it, he didn't realise it was going to affect football, but he still supports what they do.
I think he should be should be done for bringing the game into disrepute. Take 20 points off Forest Green. Do us a favour.
Make them have proper meat burgers down there rather than the veggie ones. That's
yeah. We'll force it.
No one eats the veggie burgers down there. From what I mean, you listen to Forest Green Rovers fans, they just go, "We don't eat it."
No,
you know what I mean? 'Cause they're not all vegan and that. Do you know what I mean? The fans.
No.
Most of them say the food's crap. We don't eat it.
The point of a beef burger is it's got beef in it.
Yeah.
So that's.
I think they're gonna struggle though if they get promoted this year because of the way they handle big crowds there already is shocking. There's so many times you've had away fans locked out 500-600 who bought tickets. I remember when Swindon went down there was about 500 locked out and they all had tickets in their hands.
Crazy.
Well, so Cally, anything else you'd like to bring up? Anything else you'd like to ask Greg?
No, just Greg knows that I'm right behind him and his team, and fingers crossed they're going to stay up. It's been a bad season for both the clubs, Derby and Billericay, but
I'll be back in 1 second.
Safe, and hopefully Derby are going to get some sort of stability.
Well, I hope so, Cally. I mean, tonight's news is that I don't know if you saw the stuff that's come out this evening, but they're saying that whilst we will find a buyer and be sold, it's likely we won't satisfy the EFL in terms of coming out of administration, and therefore we're likely to be fined points again next season. So to start of minus points again next season. So it's not ended yet.
That's shocking, isn't it?
So I think, I can't see it staying up at the moment now.
No.
But like the hope was that okay, we go down, we start afresh next season, and hopefully get back up again. But if what you just said happens, then it's this season all over again, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Because with that, undoubtedly comes sanctions. So we'll see.
Well,
again, the fans suffering for the behaviour of people, in clubs. I mean, Billericay are lucky they got a wonderful owner, but
I've heard he's brilliant, Gary. I don't know what. Yeah. But we've talked about the fans a lot here, and that's what football's about.
Yeah,
I think we've touched on 2 or 3 topics where the fans are kind of punished for what other people have done, and it's just not right. Whether it be Chelsea being able to buy tickets, whether it's the travel for the semi-finals.
It's disgusting.
It is. It's disgusting, and it really needs to be sorted out.
Yeah.
Do you think that the supporters have gone up watching the ladies now because of how well they've done?
Yeah, it's starting to creep up. I mean, and I say this kindly because I love the women's game, but it's a different type of football. In fact, in some respects, it's more technical, but people will watch it and say it doesn't compare to the men's game. It's just a different game. But it is gradually creeping up. It's getting more exposure. There's more commercial interest in it as well. And I love the women's football as much as I love the men's. And I think we're starting to get to around 200 turning up to watch the ladies play now, and that's starting to increase. And we're being successful. But you've got to make it a good day out for it's a different audience. Instead of being targeted on men turning up to it, it's young kids who aspire to be to playing like the women are, and so it's really starting to take off actually.
And do the women get paid?
They do. So not huge amounts, but even at our level, we're starting to pay them for expenses because some of them live outside of the area, and so they're training twice a week. And they, and obviously they're travelling for matches, so we're starting to pay them expenses. But again, there's the same question about whether they go full time if we get promoted.
I mean, obviously at your level with the women's game, I get it. One of the questions I've asked before, maybe a bit further up the scale, is we know even at the very top end of the women's game, it is so in its infancy and everything else. We know that, and that's one of the reasons why. But they do not attract, obviously. I guess this comes back down to what we've been saying. It don't matter. The fans, it's irrelevant these days because we know that the women's game at the very top end, the National League get bigger attendances than the Premier League of women's football. And it just makes me wonder how financially we know that women in the top flight, you hear it now, they're sort of saying, well, we want more money and that's going to happen. Equality and everything else. They're never going to get equal pay to a Premier League player. But, I can imagine that if this is wholly reliant at the moment, if we get to a point where agents, not the women themselves, but the agents influence the women to ask for more and more and more, and is this going to put a financial burden on many, many clubs? Or are they completely reliant on sponsorship and TV right money from the women's game? Just what I mean. It's a really difficult one that clubs face, in my view.
But it is changing. It's a slow process, Gary. But if you look at Ipswich played Arsenal, I think it was last weekend in the quarterfinals of the Women's FA Cup, and it was at Ipswich, and there were 2,000 there for that. And that's a good crowd at that level. Yeah. But it's getting better because as the game in the women is seeping down to the girls, and you've got kids coming into the girls at under 6 now. They're the fans that are going, and they're taking their parents. And that's why I say it's a slightly different fan base. Instead of it being mostly male orientated at the men's game, it's families and girls who are starting to get interested in football right from the start and following it all the way through.
So as the progression goes, obviously they get the bigger crowds in. Yeah. But then again, we come back to that very same thing. It's going to happen in women's football as well. It ain't going to be about the fans. It's going to be about the sponsors. It's going to be about TV rights that funds the women's game, just as it is now. And no matter what anyone else says, this is what it's doing to the Premier League. The Premier League clubs can't. They're all in debt. Man City, £340 million in debt. Chelsea loaned £1.6 billion off of Roman Abramovich. Yeah. That is what is required, unfortunately, right now, and I do blame this all on the wage structures, the outrageous wage demands of agents and players, and what they're doing. I mean, we're getting into what I'm having a rant now, aren't I?
You are. It's a good one, mate.
I don't go, but
does it every week, though.
Yeah, I do it every week. Seriously, and people get bored of it, but I keep trying. What people got to understand is that the players I'm in my view, and I've had it disagreed on many occasions, I blame the players as much as I do anyone else. The governing bodies are not fit for purpose. Agents shouldn't be allowed to be agents. They should ban it and let the players deal with some sort of management structure, because the agents are just greedy. Again, the amount of wage bill that is now being seen at these big clubs, they can't afford it. They just and the TV rights now, and this is another big thing, are the bigger proportion of the money now going into the Premier League is from overseas. So what's going to happen. We're going to pander to the Americans. We're going to pander to the Middle East. We're going to change. We're going to have outrageous kickoff times. You're going to have maybe club games being played out in America. The rugby union did it for a little while, didn't they? And did a couple of experimental games. And you're going to get longer breaks. I can see it all happening. You get an ad when there's a VAR shout. And Adele will be at Tottenham doing the half-time, entertainment for half an hour. I call me pessimistic, but I just, that they've got and I don't blame the clubs because they've got to get the money in to pay the players.
Well, they have, but it's not sustainable, is it?
No.
It can't just keep on going like this forever. And I think two things happen. One is what we started talking about, which is people go back to real football and they watch their non-league sides. But also I think it ends up, and this is slightly controversial, with putting a cap on the amount that the top clubs can pay on salaries.
Ah, right. 70% of their income.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do it that way. I'd actually make it a financial amount, because 70% of income, if you're Man City, you just get one of your Arab mates. Sorry, I didn't mean it quite like that.
Yeah.
To put more sponsorship in. So it can't be that. It can't be that, because there are ways around it.
Is that not the way they've because they've just changed the rules, haven't they? The fair play rules. And but if I'm right, that's what they've done, isn't it? They've said it's 70% of your income. So, like you say, all they'll do is just go and get their mates to put more sponsorship in. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, it is. That's not the way to do it. Yeah, but if you said
supposed to be broke and supposed to have all these levies being put against transfers, yet they're being linked with every player under the sun.
Yeah, well, I think if you actually said you can only spend this amount, you can only spend an amount, and everybody can only spend up to this amount on your salary bill, then it makes it a fairer playing field.
Yeah.
And it stops that constant rise in salaries. But
we've gone over time. Just a quick couple of shouts out. Ben Cliff said they video every game. And I've said, look, let's talk. And he said he'll share the videos with us, Simon. So we'll talk to Ben and see what we can do there. If they do a lot of videos, I'm sure we can put them out on the platform for you, Ben. The more the merrier. Gary Clark, I'm not sure what he's on about here, but because it's an older comment, but Boatsy said, agree, Nigel, but would have took it with Forest.
Semi-final at Wembley, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I don't know if Forest been to the new Wembley. I don't think they have they?
They must have been. I've been there twice with Bristol Rovers, so surely Forest has been there.
That's because you got the little paint rover throw, whatever it's called, isn't it?
And the playoffs, we've been there twice in the playoffs as well.
I don't know if Forest have been there in playoffs, mate.
No,
I don't think they've had a shout there. I don't know. Gary will correct me anyway.
We had the conference playoffs there, didn't we? And League Two.
Like I say, everyone, if you want to hear more from and Nigel as well, hear more about Nigel's life and how he got through football. Let's hear more about Greg's life with Derby as a fan and now as an owner of a club. If you want to hear a lot more of that, watch out for our podcast interviews under the floodlights, and we'll get them done shortly. So please watch out for them. As I've said, please go onto our YouTube channel. I know a lot of people watch us on Facebook. Please go to our YouTube channel and please subscribe for us and help us. We need to get a lot more on there. It's a new project, but it's a good one, and I know everyone will benefit from what we do. Look out for my visit to Billericay on the 2nd of April. Look out for Simon's and Simon and Dan. I've got his first name wrong. I always get his second name wrong. What a donut. But anyway, look out for that trip to Widnes with Kids Grove United on the 9th of April. Yeah?
Yeah,
Is it
Kids Grove Athletic.
And also, every night at 9 o'clock, you know the place to be is Mixcloud with Mr. Cally listening to some of the greatest music of all time.
Yeah, can I just we've had quite a lot of my Mixcloud family on tonight, so I just want to say thanks for all of them coming onto the show. And and I'll be on at 9 o'clock in about 20 minutes time.
I just got to say, for all those that are watching from your Mixcloud family, as you call it, really, is what great little community spirit you have with them of a night. Great. They all talk, they all get on. I've been on a few times. It's a really nice little group of people that, you know, really, and from all over the world.
Yeah. Majority of them are Derby and Watford fans as well, so like they're into their football.
You do a lot of football chitter chatter on there. So, like I say, what was it? Shout out your what it is they got to look for.
Just Nigel Callaghan on Mixcloud. If they go
Nigel Callaghan on Mixcloud, folks.
If they go to my Facebook page, they'll see the link on there.
Just join Cally's Facebook page. I'm sure he'll accept you.
Well, yeah, they just got to click on the link and they'll get straight in.
And who you got on Saturday then, Greg?
Avonton Waterlooville. So at their ground. So away. So
I'll be
do look
out for that.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And I'll be in touch about the interview and obviously make arrangements for coming in down and doing the away day on the 2nd. And I can't wait for that. Folks, thank you very, very much. As I said at the beginning of the show, slightly different format next week. We're going to do what we're going to call. Simon, are you happy if I call it Proper Football Uncut?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We won't cut nothing out. We will add photos in and everything. We're going to do it as a podcast and give it a trial and see how we get on. I'm not saying live shows have gone away, folks, but in our infancy as a project, we're trying to find different avenues and different ways to bring proper football to you. So that's it really. Well, thank you very much. Cally, thank you as always. Simon, thank you, sir. Greg, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Enjoyed it.
An absolute pleasure, mate. We do really wish Billericay all the best and hope they stay up. And hope Weymouth come down and I'm going to come and have a weekend. But Greg, stay on. Everyone stay on anyway, but we're going to finish off now. All it is left to say is it's good night from me.
Good night from me.
Good night from me.
And good night from me.
Right, that's it then, folks. Good night all.